Hello, good morning. So, natapos na tayo dun sa data privacy rights or Data Privacy Act. So, you probably know what are your rights with regards to giving out your personal information. So, pag nasa work na kayo, ah, dun na mag-start yung real experience nyo. So, madaming challenges with regards to work because you are not going to deal only with your work, but you have to deal with your colleagues, or kapag nasa team kayo, your teammates and your team leader, or if going team leader, how to handle your teammates and how would you report to your supervisor or to your boss. So madaming challenges. That's what we are going to discuss or talk about today regarding labor relations. Okay, so basically we are going to talk about the rights of the workers. So as interns, as future employees or future workers later on, okay, you must know your rights para hindi kayo maabuso. Because there are employers, I'm not saying naman na lahat, but there are employers kasi na they take advantage of the fact that their employee is not aware of their rights. Diba? Say for example, sa mga kasambahay, meron na po tayong tinatawag na kasambahay law. Okay, entitled na sila sa SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig. So kapag may mga kasambahay dyan, may kilala kayo, tapos sumasahod lang, wala silang SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, dapat po meron. Okay, dapat po meron. Okay, ngayon, saan nagsimula ang rights ng workers? Okay, babalik tayo sa ating Constitution. Okay, sabi ng Section 18, Article 2, the state recognizes labor as a primary social economic force and endeavors to protect the rights of workers and promote their welfare. So the government recognizes labor as a primary social economic force. Kaya meron tayong tinatawag na Department of Labor and Employment. Okay, DOLE. Okay, sila yung may mandate na ganyan to protect the rights of workers and promote their welfare. Okay? Under Section 18 din ng Article 3 naman, under Article 3, the state recognizes the right of workers in the public and private sector to form unions. Okay? Unions, as we will talk about more later, is parang group siya of workers forming together to further protect their rights. Why? Kasi kapag yung management, okay, para makita nyo, yung management magdi-deal sa single employee, of course, hindi sila nag-i-stand on equal footing. Of course, the employee will always succumb to the management. Always po yan. Lalo na mag-isa ka lang. That's why workers form together, okay, they act as one party represented by one person, okay, para makipag-negotiate kay management. Okay, para mas maganda yung rights ng employee. I-discuss natin yan more later. So, ito yung roots ng rights of workers sa Constitution. Okay? Ano pa? Article 13, Section 3. Okay? Most specific labor-related provision. Isa-isayin natin. The state shall afford full protection to labor, local and overseas, organized and unorganized. Okay? So kahit pa nag-work ka sa abroad, protected ka ng Philippine government. Kaya meron akong mga nabasang mga case before, kahit seaman, okay, protected siya by the laws of the Philippines. Why? Because that is your citizen, di ba? Kaya yung mga ibang countries, meron silang signatories sila. May tawag dun, International Labor Convention, I think. Okay? Meaning na merong specific rights yung each citizen of countries pertaining to both countries. Okay? Kaya pinoprotect silang dalawa. The state shall also aim to promote full employment, although hindi pa natin siguro ma-realize ngayon because of the difficulty of the situation. Although matagal na yung problema, full employment. The equality of employment opportunities for all shall be respected. Of course, there should be equal employment opportunities for everyone. Okay, but to be realistic with you, kasi nga magka-graduate naman na kayo, future interns, future employees, there will always be situations wherein hindi equal ang opportunities. That is normal, that is life. Okay? Huwag kayong mapanghinaan ng loob. Okay, graduate kayo ng USL. Mayroon kayong advantage sa mga other schools. Yan ang dapat nyong paniwalaan. Okay? USL, guaranteed yan kapag nag-graduate kayo ng college. Meron kayong edge eh. Meron kayong edge. Ang Louisians always may edge. Okay? Sa mga other schools. Okay? So, the state shall also protect the rights of all workers, of course, to self-organization, yung magbuo ng union, to collective bargaining and negotiations, which is kung yung gagawin ng labor union. Okay? Peaceful, concerted activities like strike. Okay? Pero, right to strike must only be exercised in accordance with law. Hindi basta-basta na mag-i-strike ang employees. Hindi basta-basta na haharangin yung premises. Hindi po pwede yun. Okay? Dapat in accordance with the law. Hindi mo pinapasok yung mga kasama mo sa trabaho kasi gusto mo pati sila mag-strike. Hindi po pwede yun. Kung gusto nila mag-strike na kasama ka, they will, pero hindi mo sila pwedeng pilitin. Okay? The right to security of tenure of workers shall be respected. Of course, sino ba naman ang gustong mag-work later on na hindi secure yung stay niya dun sa business or dun sa institution na yun, na anytime pwede siyang matanggal. Kaya the state always favors regularization. Di ba? Okay? So, yun yung security of tenure. The workers are entitled to humane conditions of work, of course. Sino ba naman ang gusto sa magtrabaho sa isang lugar na madumi, na magulo, na lagi nag-aaway ang mga tao, di ba? So, dapat humane conditions of work. The workers are entitled to a living wage, of course. Kaya meron tayong tinatawag na minimum wage rate. So, ine-estimate kung ano yung pwedeng minimum wage rate para naman suitable sa workers. Itong minimum wage rate, guys, tandaan, regional yan. Ibang minimum wage rate ng Region 1, iba ang minimum wage rate ng Region 2, iba sa NCR, iba sa Davao. Okay, kaya pag sinabing minimum wage rate sa NCR is 537, sa NCR po yun, hindi po sa Tugigaraw. Hindi sa Region 2, hindi sa Region 1. Okay, mamaya, papakita ko kung anong minimum wage rate ng Region 2 as to the latest na ah, release ng board, okay, ng minimum wage board. Okay? The workers shall be afforded the right to participate in policy and decision-making processes affecting their rights and benefits. This could be done through a representative from the labor union. Basta anything that can affect the rights of the employees and the benefits of the employees, dapat aware po ang employees dyan. Okay? Yan, sa USL magandang labor union ng USL. Kasi from the time nung malis ako noon, nag-increase talaga ang sahod. Okay? The employers and workers should be guided by the principle of shared responsibility. So hindi lang nakafocus sa worker, dapat both management or employer and the worker or the employee should be in harmony. Dapat meron silang shared responsibility. Kasi hindi naman palagi na porket sinabi ng Constitution na the state shall protect the right of the workers, shall promote full employment, na laging kawawa si management o si employer. Tandaan, si employer, si management, business din siya. Meron din siyang expenses. Okay? Kaya yan, dapat tinitignan yung both sides. Okay? To continue, the state shall also encourage the preferential use of voluntary modes in settling disputes. Of course, hindi mo maiwasan na mayroong nagreklamo regarding work, regarding sahod, okay, regarding treatment ng boss, ng employees, ng colleagues. Okay? Mas maganda na masettle siya out of court or yung voluntary modes in settling disputes. Why? Because you don't want to sever the relationship between the employer and the employee. Kasi pag umabot yan sa korte, malamang yung galit niya sa isa't isa is malalim na yan at mahirap na bumalik ka dun sa employer para mag-work. Kaya mas maganda, masettle out of court, walang kaso, kung pwede maayos, para maganda pa rin yung working relationship with by the employee with the employer. The state shall also regulate relations between workers and employers, of course. Okay? Tripartite nga yan. Okay, the workers, the employers, and the state. Respect the right of labor to its just share in the fruits of production, of course. Dapat fair naman ang wage ng employee. Kung malakas si business, of course, dapat it must correspond to the wage or the salary of the employee. Hindi yung ang lakas-lakas na ng business, dami nang nakita nung employer, pero yung sahod ng employee, wala, ganun pa rin, wala man lang incentives, wala man lang performance bonuses. Dapat naman fair. Okay? Balancing capital with labor. Ito yung sinasabi natin kanina. The state recognizes the right of enterprises to reasonable returns on investments and to expansion and growth. Hindi lang sa labor side, hindi lang sa employee side, it also looks on the side of the employer or the management. Okay? Kasi si management, meron din siyang right to return on his investments and for expansion and growth. Okay? What are the laws covering labor? So, tapos na tayo dun sa Constitution. Okay, the main laws covering labor, yung una, of course, the Labor Code. Kapag sinabi nating Labor Code, guys, dalawa yan. Labor relations, labor standards, and labor relations. Dalawa yan. Kapag social legislation, yun yung other laws aside sa labor standards at labor relations. Anong social legislation? Anong other laws na yun? Yung laws provide mandating SSS. Okay? Yung Solo Parent Act. Okay? Yung laws extending maternal leave for women. Okay? Yung independent laws na ine-enact. Di ba yung uh, marital leave for women is nasa 105 days na. Before kasi, I think nasa 60. Okay, ngayon, 105 days na siya. Okay. Sabi natin kanina, labor code, dalawa yan, labor standards and labor relations. Okay. Labor standards as future employees, dapat alam nyo ito. Okay. Since interns pa lang kayo o JTs, okay din na malaman nyo ngayon para ma-observe nyo later on pag na-assign na kayo sa institution, kung saan man kayong business ma-assign, makita nyo or ma-witness nyo rin yung mga ganitong senaryo. Labor standards. These are the minimum terms and conditions of employment which employees are entitled as a matter of right, and the employers must comply as a matter of obligation. So, ang labor standards, from the word itself, these are the minimum standards na dapat ibigay mo sa employee, na dapat merong right ang employee. Like minimum wage, yun yung minimum na standards niya. I-discuss natin lahat ito. Like yung overtime pay, premium pay, holiday pay, service incentive leave, lahat po yan nasa labor standards. Okay? Yung mga minimum terms, minimum standards lang. Okay? Labor relations naman, this covers interactions between the employer and the employee or between the labor union and the management regarding the standards. Yung sinabi natin kanina, to negotiate, adjust, or enforce. Bakit? Kasi itong minimum standards na ito, yan yung provided by law. Ngayon, sabi ko kanina, yung workers bumubuo ng union. Okay? Itong union na to, okay, they want na to be secure, that na rightful naman or fair yung ma-receive nila na wage. Kaya ang ginagawa nila, nagre-request sila ng much higher wage than the minimum standard set by law. Bakit? That is the purpose of labor union. Okay? Kasi kung ang ma-receive mo lang din naman is minimum terms and minimum or standard rights mo under the law, nag-labor union ka pa, 'di ba? Kaya nga nandiyan si labor union para mas madami kayong rights or mas ma-increase yung wage nyo. Okay, so labor union is empowerment of the workers or the employees. Okay? Later on, ma-experience nyo yan in real life. Or pag na-assign na kayo sa OJT-han nyo, magtanong-tanong kayo kung mayroon silang binabayaran na labor dues or dues sa union, yun na yun. Nagko-contribute din kasi sila sa union. Alam nyo na meron silang labor union yan. Okay? Labor standards. Although ang topic natin today is labor relations. Okay? Mas better kasi you cannot understand labor relations without understanding labor standards. That's basic. Okay? Kasi ang labor relations, it is the relationship between the employer and the employee. Regarding what? Regarding day-to-day problems and also regarding the labor standards. Kaya lang naman nagkakaproblema, nagkakadispute, nagkakagrievance because probably hindi na-meet yung standards or kung ano man yung naset sa kanilang contract. Okay, kaya it's better for me and for you guys na alam nyo din ang labor standards, especially 1 year na lang or less than 1 year na siguro Magka-graduate na kayo, magtatrabaho na kayo. So you should know. Okay? Ano yung number 1 sa labor standards? Number 1, minimum wage. Okay? As of February 2020, minimum wage rate for Region 2 is 360 for non-agricultural. And for agricultural is 340. This is by virtue of Wage Order 19. Okay? So, kung narinig nyo na ang minimum wage is 500, sa Manila yon 537 to be exact. Okay? Ito kasi ang minimum wage, ibig sabihin, kapag employee ka, dapat ang minimum wage mo dito sa Region 2, 360. Anything lower than that, okay, pwede mong ireklamo yan. Okay? 360 per day. Okay? Kaya, meron tayong labor union para sabihin ni labor union, dapat 400 kami. O makipag-negotiate siya kay employer. Yun. Okay? Kasi 360. Ewan ko kung meron ng bago as of 2021. Pero as of 2020 yan. Yung bagong issue ng DOLE meron din ako. Yan yun talaga. 360. Okay? So, kapag employee ka, ang minimum wage mo sa Region 2 dapat 360. Anything lower than that, questionable yan. Dapat mong itanong, dapat mong i-report yan. Okay? Second, holiday pay. Of course, ito lang kapag holiday. Okay? Kapag holiday na hindi ka nagtrabaho, meron ka pa ring bayad. Kung 360 ang bayad mo per day, sa araw na holiday, kapag holiday kasi, di ba, walang pasok. Kapag hindi ka nagtrabaho ng holiday, meron kang 360 sa araw na yun. Pero, may instance kasi, gaya ng mga restaurants or yung mga necessary ng mga establishments na nagwo-work sila kahit holiday, di ba? Kapag nag-work ka na holiday, 200%, ibig sabihin yung 360 mo, sa isang araw na yun, 6 ay madodoble. 720. Okay? So, imbes na 360 lang ang ma-earn mo sa araw na yun, 720 ka sa araw na yun. So, yun yung holiday pay. Pag nag-work ka, may bayad ka. Pero doble. Pero pag hindi ka nag-work, entitled ka 100%. Okay? Premium pay. Okay? Tandaan guys, iba ang holiday sa special day. Okay? Special day or rest day mo. Okay? Kapag nag-work ka on your rest day or special day, 130%. Okay? Pag nag-work ka on your rest day or special day, yun yung tinatawag nating premium pay. So, imbes na 360 lang, plus 30%. Okay? Okay. Overtime pay. Ngayon, yung work mo 8 to 5. Pag nag-overtime ka, meron kang 25% of hourly rate. Ibig sabihin, yung 360 mo, i-divide mo yan by 8 kasi hourly rate nga siya, di ba? So, plus 25% doon. So, lahat yan merong bayad. So, hindi pwede mag-overtime ka nang walang bayad. Okay? Dapat aware kayo dyan sa mga ganyang kaya nga, di ba, importante na malaman natin kasi mamaya overtime kayo, wala naman palang overtime pay. O, ba't ka pa mag-overtime, di ba? Okay? Night shift differential. Okay, ito naman, kapag yung work mo is from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., okay, may 10% ka of the hourly rate plus 10%. Okay? So, 360 plus 10%. Basta ang trabaho mo, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Okay, ito usually kapag nasa call centers kayo or nasa mga BPOs kayo, iba ang call center, part lang siya ng BPO. Okay? BPO industry. Okay, kasi hindi naman lahat ng nasa BPO industry is calls. Meron dyan yung mga non-calls. Okay, iba-iba. Basta 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. may night shift differential. Meron din kayong service incentive leave. If at least 1 year na ang na-render mo na service sa company, meron kang 5 days service incentive leave with pay. Okay? Yung iba, nag-form ng union, nine-negotiate nila yan. Yung iba, nagsasuggest 10 days with pay. Depende sa negotiation nyo with employer. Yun ang importance ng labor union. Para hindi lang itong labor standards, hindi lang minimum ang makuha. Okay? So yun, service incentive leave. With pay yan, guys. Maternity leave, sabi ko kanina. Ano lang ang requirement dito? Madali lang. 3 monthly contribution with SSS lang. 3 monthly contributions lang with SSS. Hindi mo kailangan na 1 year ka sa company. Okay? Ang kailangan lang tignan dyan, meron kang 3 monthly contributions sa SSS. Anong benefit mo? 105 days full pay. Take note, 105 days full pay. Hindi pwede sa lalaki to, maternity leave to. Sa mga babae lang to. Sa mga nanganak, buntis. Okay? 105 na po siya. 105 days. So, madami, matagal yan. Full pay ka dyan. Okay? And then, next, paternity leave. So, kung merong maternity leave, meron din po tayong paternity leave. Kaso lang, hindi siya gaya ni Mrs. na 105 days. Si father or si husband is 7 days lang. 7 days full pay. Paternity leave. Okay? Parental leave for solo parents provided by Solo Parent Act. Okay? 7 days full pay. Okay? Parental leave for solo parents, 7 days full pay. And also take note dun sa maternity leave, guys, hindi kailangan nakasal ka. I'm referring to the women, dun sa mga nagbuntis o sa mga nanganak. Kahit pa may asawa ka, or wala kang asawa, or nabuntis ka, na iniwan ka, you are entitled to maternity leave. Walang classification. Basta babae ka, nabuntis ka, meron kang 3 monthly contributions with SSS, entitled ka for maternity leave. Baka kasi ang iniisip, kailangan may asawa, hindi po. Or kailangan kasal, hindi po. Okay, kahit pa solo parent ka, pwedeng-pwede po ang maternity leave. Okay? Okay. Leave for victims of violence against women and their children. Ito yung mga binubugbog ng asawa. Take note, hindi lang asawa yan. Basahin mo na mabuti ang batas, nandun, kahit boyfriend. Kaya yung mga sinasaktan dyan, violence against women and their children. Hindi lang po physical abuse, Hindi lang physical abuse. There is also what we call emotional and psychological abuse. Yung lagi kang sinasaktan emotionally. Okay? 10 days full pay. Okay? Kailangan dyan, mag-file ka na ng case against sa asawa mo bago mo yan ma-avail yung leave for victims of violence against women and their children. Of course, for the security of the women. We also have special leave for women. Ano to? Ito yung mga women na have undergone surgery due to gynecological disorders. 2 months full pay din po yan. Okay? So, dito pa lang makikita mo na women are protected. Sobra. Diba? And rightfully so. Okay? 13-month pay, of course, you know this one. Meron kayong taxation. So, I guess, nagko-compute na kayo ng mga taxes on basic salary. Okay? At least 1 month. Kailangan at least 1 month ka connected with the company para entitled ka for 13-month pay. Okay? Kasi ang computation niya, total basic salary for the year divided by 12 months. Okay? And then, you have separation pay. Ang i-take note mo lang naman sa separation pay, you should not be severed from the employer due to just and lawful cause. Dapat, hindi ko na discuss yun kasi masyadong malayo na yun. Yung natanggal ka because of grave misconduct, mga ganun, wala kang separation pay. Ba't ka pa bibigyan? Grave misconduct nga, di ba? Oh. So, hindi lahat na bibigyan ng separation pay. PhilHealth, of course, mandatory na po yan. Okay? Kaya pag nag-apply kayo, kung wala pa kayong PhilHealth, pinapagawan kayo, di ba? Yan yung pwede nyo na siya actually, ngayon pa lang na interns kayo, gaya ko noon. Intern pa lang ata ako noon. Kumukuha na ako ng teen, ganun. SSS. Pwede naman kayong kumuha na yan. Di naman kailangan may work kayo. Pero yung iba kasi, pag pumasok ka sa kanila, let's say for example, nag-enter ka into a certain institution, sila lang naglalakad. Parang ako before sa LGU, sila ang naglakad ng GSIS ko. But you can access them now. Okay? Pwede ka nang kumuha ng tin mo actually. Kahit pa hindi ka graduate. Kasi everyone, kailangan lahat may tin number. Isa lang ang tin number. Okay? PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, mandatory yan, contributions yan. For your benefit yan. Yang mga yan, ibabawas yan sa sahod mo. Ibabawas yan sa sahod mo. But you will benefit from that naman kasi. Lalo na sa PhilHealth. Malaking tulong. Okay? Pag-ibig, monthly contributions hindi love. Okay? SSS. Okay? Social Security Benefit. Okay? Mandatory deductions yan. Kasi it's for your own good. So yan yung labor standards or yung minimum standards that you should know. Kaya hindi basta-basta na papapasukin kayo sa holiday na hindi pala 200%. Okay? Or pinag-overtime kayo na wala namang pay, night shift differential. Lahat yan mayroong bayad. Okay? Kaya dapat aware kayo ngayon pa lang. So yun pa lang, dapat meron na kayong ma-pick up. Let's proceed to labor relations. Okay? Labor relations on the side of human resource management or on the side of the management or the employer. Okay, kasi sila usually ang nagdi-deal regarding labor relations. Of course, regarding their employees. Okay, this involves administration and application of personnel policies and programs on employees precisely. Diba? Lahat ng papasukan mo later on, pwede nyo siyang i-observe during your internship. Merong mga policies ang bawat companies o institution. Meron silang mga dress code. Diba? Minsan, meron pang color coding yan. Okay, meron kayong i-observe ng mga policies sa mga institutions. Yan, sakop din yan ng labor relations. Kasi meron yung iba dyan, sa sobrang pasaway, hindi nila sinusunod. Hindi naman na kayo parang college or high school na hindi nyo sinusunod yan. You are adults, you are working people. Okay, you should comply. You know how to comply. I'm not saying you comply blindly. But if it's reasonable, if there's nothing wrong with it, diba? You comply. That's their policy. That's their company policy. Okay? Administration of the collective bargaining contracts with labor union, of course. Okay? Ang kausap ni labor union dyan is the HR or eventually the management, diba? To negotiate the contract. Yung sinabi natin kanina, itong rights na ito, pwede nating i-adjust yan through labor union. Diba? You negotiate the terms, okay, in your employment. Solution of day-to-day problems that arises in connection with employer relations. Okay, so everyday involves CHR. Okay, not necessarily na pupunta sa top management. Usually, ni-handle na siya ni HR, yung day-to-day employee-employer relations. Kaya si HR or si management or si employer, dapat he has an understanding of the needs of a certain person or individual or an employee. Diba? Alam nyo naman yung Maslow's hierarchy of laws or hierarchy of needs natin, diba? Yung sa baba, yan, yung mga necessities. Okay? And then safety, love, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. Bakit importante na alam yan ni HR? Okay, because tandaan natin, employees or human resource is the hardest asset to manage. Kasi tao sila eh. Okay, they have their own needs. Actually, they have their different needs, their different set of needs. They have their different values, attitudes. Kaya ang pag-handle ni HR dyan, isa-isa. Parang sa teacher, ang pag-handle niya sa student, isa-isa. Although nag-interact siya all, meron pa rin mga students na merong specific needs. Ganyan din si HR. So, dapat alam niya to keep the employees happy and engaged. Okay, kasi kung hindi, malamang sa malamang si employee maghahanap ng better opportunity. If na-realize niya na with that position or with that company, I will only be like this. Dito lang ako. Walang growth. Okay, that's why you have to provide that. Kaya nandito tayo sa labor relations. Okay? What are the sources of these grievances? Diba? Tandaan natin na ang labor relations is the interaction between the employer and the employee or the management and the employee. Kailan lang naman nagkaganyan is when there exist grievances. Okay? Or yung di pagkakasundo, disputes. Una, violation of management's responsibility. Okay? If the management promised that there will be an increase in salary, okay? But they failed, dyan usually, magkakaroon ng grievance. Violation of company rules and regulations, di ba? Sabi ko nga, company policies should be followed. If hindi naman siya labag sa rights mo as a person, di ba? Why not follow it? If wala naman masama, di ba? Violation of labor laws. Labor laws, ibig sabihin yung minimum standards na sinabi natin kanina, yung minimum wage rate, holiday pay, gano'n. Okay, kapag hindi binigay sa'yo yung mga basic rights mo as employee. Violation of natural rules of justice, natural laws that did not be mentioned in a statute. Okay, yan yung primary sources ng grievances. But, meron pa tayong breakdown yan. Resulting from management policies. Okay? Wage rates, diba? Pag hindi na fair yung wage, meaning comparing wage dun sa work or sa nature of work, diba? Hindi na siya fair. Diyan usually nagko-cause ng grievance. Or, usually ito, mga minimum wage rate distortions, mga wage distortions. Let's say for example, ang bagong pasok na employee is 400 ang sahod per day. Per day we're talking about per day. Na-hire siya ngayon, September 19, 2021. Okay? Say for example, that person is A. Now, after 3 months, nag-adjust ang minimum wage rate. Or nagbago ng ng policy ang company. Sabihin mo si company, ginawa niyang 420. Ngayon may na-hire na bago, si B. 420 ang sahod niya. Di syempre, mag-question si A na 400 lang, si B 420 lang, parehas lang silang bago. Merong mga wage distortions. Diyan usually nagkakos ng grievances. Okay? Yung leave policy. Okay? What if walang leave policy? Or hindi pwedeng convert yung leave policy into cash? Diba? Pwede. If overtime pay, non-payment or walang provision sa contract regarding overtime pay pero nag-overtime kayo. Source of grievance din yan. Lack of career planning, gaya ng sabi ko kanina. What if with this position, with this company, hanggang dito na lang ako? Okay, so you need to address that if you are the employer. But for you, na employee, you should take note of that. Dapat yung kapag magpapasok kayo sa isang institusyon, dapat you can see yourself. You should have a vision of yourself for the next 5 or 10 years. Dapat may growth sa'yo. Okay? Role conflicts, usually yung mga dalawa ang mga hinihandle na positions. Disparity between skill of worker and job responsibility. Job mismatch. Very apparent sa Philippines, di ba? Hindi lang nga unemployment, di ba? Job mismatch din. Why? Because of lack of opportunity. Minsan you just have to take the job kasi yun yung available now. Although hindi yun talaga yung work na gusto mo or hindi yun yung work na related sa course mo, di ba? There's job mismatch. There will always be grievance. Okay? And there are those resulting from work conditions. Aside sa management policies, sa work conditions naman. Poor safety and bad physical conditions. Okay? When the workplace is not clean, magulo ang mga tao, walang disiplina, okay, it will result into more and more grievances. Unavailability of tools and proper machinery, negative approach to discipline. Of course, ang approach to discipline kasi hindi yan by the book iba-iba, lalo na sa mga tao. Iba-iba din ang pagtanggap nila ng discipline. Iba-iba din ang pag-react nila. Okay? Or unrealistic targets. Diba? Usually, unrealistic targets in a short span of time. Very stressing ang workplace kapag ganun. Na meron kayong minimit na alam nyo, hindi nyo kayang imit. Okay? Those can be the sources of grievances. So, this one you can observe naman sa mga agencies na later on ma-assign kayo or mapili nyo na pag-OJT-han. Makikita nyo ito, ma-observe nyo. Okay? Ano pa? Resulting from interpersonal factors, ito talaga mami-witness nyo. Poor relationships. Meron dyan, magchichismisan. First hour of the day pa lang, chismis. Okay, meron dyan yung hindi magkakasundo, hindi nagpapansinan, matagal na. Although matagal na sila magkatrabaho, meron yan. Mapapansin nyo yan. These are the sources of grievances. Autocratic leadership style, di ba? Sino ba naman? Pero ito na, hindi na kasi ito ngayon. Hindi na maganda ito ngayon kasi mas better if i-refer mo siya with the team, di ba? Two minds are better than one. Hindi lang yung isa. Poor relations with seniors. Papansin nyo yan. Yung mga employees na takot kay boss, papansin nyo yung anong tawag dun? yung behavior nila pag wala pa si boss versus yung behavior nila pag nandyan na yung boss. Pansinin niyo yan pag na-deploy na kayo sa mga agencies or institutions. Okay? Mayroong difference sa behavior nila pag nandyan na si boss tsaka pag wala pa siya. Okay? Which is normal naman. Pero yung iba kasi, kaya nagiging source din siya ng grievance kasi minsan, ang feeling nila, nasisingle out sila or lagi na lang siya yung pinapagalitan or pinapansin. May mga ganun kasi. Conflicts with peers and conflicts with peers. Okay? With your colleagues. Okay? Not all the time naman kasi harmonious ang relationship. Okay? Harassments. Of course, sexual harassments, that's a criminal offense. Dati noon, ang sexual harassment is committed by the boss towards the employee sa baba. So, dati, lagi ang magko-commit yung nasa taas, pababa. But, by virtue of this new law, mayroong bago, yung narinig nyo na siguro yung bawal bastos law. Or, yung Safe Spaces Act. Anong ginawa ni Safe Spaces Act or ni Bawal Bastos Law? In-erase niya yung meaning na, although meron pa ring sexual harassment law, pag hinaras ka ni boss, meron pa rin sexual harassment. Okay? Ang safe spaces kasi, hindi lang si boss. Okay? Pwedeng si colleague, yung kapantay mo, or pwedeng mas mababa sa'yo ang nag-harass sa'yo. Dati kasi nung sexual harassment law lang, pag kaparehas mo ng position or mas mababa sa'yo ng position yung nag-harass sa'yo, hindi yun sexual harassment. Under sexual harassment law. Hindi. Ang sexual harassment is kapag si boss ang nag-commit against sa mababa. Ngayon kasi by virtue of Bawal Bastos Law or Safe Spaces Act, okay, kahit sino na, kahit kaparehas mo ng position or mas mababa sa'yo na lagi kang hinaharas, kinachansingan, okay, pwede na. Okay, bawal na yun. Okay? Hindi lang sa kalsada kasi yun yung sikat sa Bawal Bastos Law, nag-apply din siya dun. Okay? How about grievances on the employer side? Okay? Kasi hindi lang naman laging sa employee nag-i-start, nagbibigin yan. Meron din sa employer. Okay? Loyalty of employees, of course. Diba? Sino ba naman ang gusto na disloyal si employee? Diba? That's why you should, if ever you are hired, you should always carry the mandate of your institution. Kaya meron niyang vision, mission. You should also carry that. Okay? And then the principles, you should also embody that. Okay? To prove your loyalty with the institution. Reduce disciplinary powers. Okay? Kapag lack kasi or walang ngipin ang disciplinary power ng employer, mahirap i-control sila employees. Diba? Mahirap. Or indifference towards management. Diba? Merong mga employees na sobrang pasaway. Diba? Na ayaw nilang mapagsabihan, pag pinagsabihan, oo, pero hindi rin naman susundin. Diba? Indifference towards management. These are all the challenges faced by the HR or the employers. Labor union politics. There are instances kasi, pero bawal ito sinasabi ko lang, bawal ito, na yung employer, meron siyang pinipili na gustong parang mag-represent sa labor union para ang negotiation nilang dalawa is favorable pa rin sa employer. May mga ganung instances. Pero bawal yun. That is actually a crime. Okay? You restrict the rights of the employees to negotiate fairly with the employer. Abuse of collective bargaining agreements. Of course, kapag meron ng bunganga or boses yung labor union, minsan kasi, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, from 360 to 400, minsan kasi unrealistic naman na, or yung, anong tawag dun, blue sky bargaining, ibig sabihin, masyado namang mataas naman yung hinihingi ng employees o ng labor union. Kunwari, from 400, ang gusto nilang maging bagong minimum sahod nila is maging 600. So, bakit? Dapat merong reason bakit nag-jump from 400 to 600. Masyadong malaki yun. Why? Para bigyan ko yan ng perspective on the employer side. Okay? Sabihin mo ng 50 lang, from 400 to 450. Diba? Kung isipin mo, 50 lang yun. Diba? Paano kung 300 kayo ni employees? 50 times 300. Ang laki din nun. Diba? So, hindi ganun kadali ang mag-handle ng ganung matters. Kaya kung minsan, kukunti lang yung dagdag, kasi nga, minsan thousands yung employees, 10 pesos lang yung dagdag dun sa sahod. Pero kapag tinimes mo yan dun sa 1,000 employees, ang laki na yan. Diba? Kaya yun yung sa employer's perspective or employer's side. Okay? Yun na nga. Why employees form a labor union? What are the reasons? Selfishness of either the employer or the management or the employees or the labor union. Okay? Bakit? Di ba ang labor union para makapag-negotiate sila, kaya nag-enter into a collective bargaining agreement para makapag-negotiate sila, para ma-determine nila kung ano yung acceptable dun kay employer at ano yung acceptable kay employee or kay labor union. Okay? Unfair and arbitrary treatment. Of course, kapag masyado ng unfair on the part of the employees, they can form a union and represent themselves para makapag-bargain naman sila with the employer. Okay? Inequality of pay or low wage. Of course, yung sabi nga natin kanina, para hindi lang 360, para naman medyo madagdagan, pwede sila mag-form ng union para makapag-bargain sila with the employer. Effectiveness of mass action in dealing with employers and promotion of rights. Okay? Because kapag isa lang yan, gaya ng kwento ko kanina, kapag isa lang yan na employee, nakikipag-negotiate siya kay employer, sa tingin mo, bibigay yung employer? Diba? If ordinaryong employee lang yan? Diba? Social and psychological satisfaction on the part of the employees. Because it gives them that security na kahit papano, they can bargain with the employer. Yung rights na may establish nila by virtue of the collective bargaining agreement is much higher compared sa labor standards yung diniscuss natin. Okay? Solution to common labor problems. Of course, bago kasi nagipag-negotiate yan, ang representative ng labor union, usually nagmi-meet muna yan yung mga employees para mai-discuss nila yung anumang grievances nila. And later on, itong representative ng labor union, ma-discuss niya sa management or sa employer. So, ganun siya nag-work. Okay? Labor union, as defined by labor relations. This is a combination of workers for the purpose of securing through united action the most favorable conditions. Di ba nga? Like for the wages, hours of work, conditions of work, etc. So, para hindi lang nasa minimum wage, para naman medyo mataas-taas, nagpo-form ngayon ng union yung employees para may taas or makapag-negotiate kay employer. Okay? Pero hindi lang wage ang pwede nila i-negotiate, madami. Okay? Ganyan, hours of work, conditions of work, di ba? Pwede din yung mga leaves, or pwedeng dagdagan yung overtime pay, di ba? Of course, they have to negotiate that with the employer. Collective bargaining. Okay? Collective bargaining is the process by which the representatives of the labor union meet and attempt to work out a contract with the employer. Diba nga yung sabi ko, the labor union, the representative of the labor union shall meet with the representative of the employer or the management to work out, to negotiate, to bargain, diba? Kung paano ba sila magbe-benefit yung both parties. Ang magiging anak niyan is what we call collective bargaining agreement. Ibig sabihin, kung ano man mapagkasunduan nila, mag-a-apply sa lahat ng employees. Okay? So, yun yung collective bargaining. Ano ang issues na may-meet natin with regards to collective bargaining? Of course, na-discuss na natin iba, basta yung mga nagra-rise sa mga grievances, pwede rin siyang pumasok sa collective bargaining para ma-address yung mga grievances like sa wage-related issues, work-related issues, supplementary economic benefits, like yung mga pay, mga incentives, or performance bonuses, di ba? Institutional issues, yung mga policies, rules and regulations of the company, and administrative issues. Okay? So lahat yan, pag nag-meet yung mga employees, okay, dun nila yan in-air out. Tapos lahat yan, i-air out ng representative ng employees dun kay management or kay HR para ma-address yung mga issues na yan. So, ganun nagwo-work ang labor relations. So, yun ang labor relations in its essence. The interaction between the employee and the employer. So, yun siya. So, to leave you, just like what I said dun sa Data Privacy Act, as future employees, you have to guard your rights. Kaya ako diniscuss yung labor standards for you to know your rights and eventually guard them. Read every contract before you sign them. Yung iba kasi hindi na binabasa pag na-hire, pero si employer naman, lalo na pag sa mga BPO kayo na-hire, binibigyan nila kayo ng time to read your contract, which you should do. Kasi merong mga contracts na in case you did not finish the term, let's say for example 6 months or 1 year, you are to pay them a bond. Magbabayad kayo ng pera. Okay? Why? Because you did not finish your obligation. There is a breach of obligation. And that is okay. Okay? Kaya dapat basahin nyo siya. If hindi kayo comfortable, then hindi naman necessary na pag may nilatag sa yung kontrata, pirmahan mo eh. Mas better you read them first. Read them first. Be wary of what your signature will mean. Okay? Kaya dyan nagkakaroon ng mga grievances kasi hindi nila alam yung mga pinipirmahan nila. So, that's all for me. I hope that you picked up something during this discussion. Sana naging mas aware kayo sa rights nyo and how you can use them later in case na mag-work kayo. I'm sure naman mag-graduate kayo. So, I'm looking forward to that. So, thank you once again for having me.